Hello peeps, in this video I'm going to try and explain to you how to use key switching in Kontakt so you can turn on and off samples in a certain group. So we're inside Live and I've got Kontakt here, so we'll double click to make a new blank instrument. We'll come down to the group editor and you're immediately given one group by default, and we can open the mapping editor and then just drag in this piano sample. And it doesn't really matter what I'm using, but I'm going to change this to piano. Excuse me, those keys are really loud. And then what we're going to do is create a blank group, and I'm going to call this one bells. So the trouble is now we can't tell which group we're on. How do we do that? Selected groups only. So if you go into this area, when you select that group, it'll only show you a member of that group. Cool. So in this one, we got the piano loaded. In this one, we're going to drag in a Krusty Bell sample, and then we can see they'll switch between. So what we want to achieve is that when we hit a certain MIDI key, this group will be allowed, and then we hit a different MIDI key, and that group will be allowed. So what we want to do first is switch off edit all groups, because we want to talk to each of these groups separately. So we'll go to piano group, start group options is what you're interested in. We're going to click start group options, and they all default to always, so always play. And we can prove that by listening here. And you should be able to hear a piano and a bell. What we're going to do is come in here and change that, and we'll say this piano will actually only start on a certain MIDI key to allow it through. And we can choose C0 to C0. So if we hit C0, that group's going to be allowed. Now with this off as a reminder, we click on bells and we do the same, but maybe we change this to D0. Cool. So if we hit D0, bells will play. If we hit C0, piano will play. And if you haven't got the keyboard viewer open, you can do it in the browser up here. And now we see these two red keys to the left of our blue set. The blue set by default is your key mapping range, which we can, so if we change that, this would change accordingly. And the red one is your key switch, C0, D0. So if I hit C0 now, we only have the piano. If I hit D0, we have the Krusty Bells. I have no idea why that's called Krusty Bells, but there you go. Sounds a lot like a synth to me. But there you have it. So this could be different microphone positions, this could be different voices as it is right now, so you could load a bunch of voices into one instrument, and that's how you set up key switching to allow certain performance types through. This is commonly used with like strings, where you might have pizz, legato, forzando, or some other performance type, and you want to switch for that bank for a certain expression, but you can use it for anything you want, really. Excuse me, I've got hiccups. Okay, I hope you find this useful.